described to you. I think if you want to use the word scandal, that's fine, as I did. The point is, it's a challenge to Washington, D.C., the way we do business, a challenge to bipartisanship, and a challenge to the effectiveness of this newly elected president.
Some Democrats say that the president fired FBI Director James Comey in order to impede the investigation, but the acting FBI Director, Andrew McCabe, pushed back on that. Here he is.
There has been no effort to impede our investigation to date. Quite simply put, sir, you cannot stop the men and women of the FBI from doing the right thing, protecting the American people, and upholding the Constitution.
Why do you think the president fired James Comey?
I don't know. Honestly, I cannot explain a lot of the president's actions. I don't think it was a wise thing to do. Mr. Comey was highly respected and highly regarded, and so I can't explain it. I don't think it was a smart thing to do.
Do you think it was an effort to impede the investigation?
I do not know. I know that this issue has infuriated the president. I mean, that's obvious from his public appearances and his statements, but I don't think that that was the right remedy. But he's the president of the United States, and he will face the events. I'm not sure you would have had the appointment of Mr. Mueller if that had happened.
You say that the president should never have let Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov into the Oval Office in the first place last week. Now it turns out, and I want to put this back up on the screen, that Mr. Trump, according to the official summary, told Lavrov, "I just fired the head of the FBI. He was crazy, a real nut job. I faced great pressure because of Russia. That's taken off." How do you read that, sir?
I don't know how to read it except that I'm almost speechless because I don't know why someone would say something like that. But I know this: Mr. Lavrov is the stooge of a thug and a murderer who used Russian precision weapons to strike hospitals in Aleppo, who's committed human rights violations all over the place, has invaded Ukraine, has taken Crimea, has acted in the most thuggish and outrageous fashion, and he had no business in the Oval Office. If there's a president to Putin engagement in a meeting, I think that's under the right circumstances that might be okay. But not this stooge Lavrov, who is nothing but a propagandist.
The president is considering a number of people to be the new FBI director to replace James Comey, including your old friend, former Senator Joe Lieberman. After some Democrats criticized Joe Lieberman, you said this, I'm going to put it up on the screen. "Joe Lieberman has more experience than all of my Democratic colleagues combined, so screw them." And you can quote me. Senator, let me just ask this. Is it time to switch to decaf?
Chris, the thing that's really disappointing about this is probably the most beloved and respected member of the United States Senate was Joe Lieberman by Republican and Democrat. So the same Democrats that proclaimed their friendship and bondage with Joe Lieberman are now the ones that are trashing him. It's a commentary on why we get a little cynical around this town.
The president says that the real story here are all the leaks that are coming out. And I got to say, the Air Force One was barely off the ground on its way to Saudi Arabia, and we had big, explosive stories on the front page of the New York Times, on the front page of the Washington Post. Do you believe that there is a concerted effort among elements inside the intelligence and law enforcement communities to bring this president down?
I can't go quite that far, but I think it's outrageous. I think it's a betrayal of their oaths of office. I think it's disgraceful. These facts would come out no matter what, Chris, and in the course of a normal investigation that goes on. And these people who are doing it, I say shame on them, because they are not serving their country or even their own interest in the long run.
Do you think the investigation should go to them as well as the question?
I think it's a violation of the law to leak classified information, and therefore they should be held accountable.
Finally, we got less than a minute left. You heard my discussion with Secretary Tillerson about that violent reaction, the beatdown. These pictures, I got to say, are pretty bad right here in the heart of Washington. Turkish security beating, kicking, peaceful protesters. You heard the Secretary's reaction. Are you satisfied with that?
Well, again, this decaf issue, you know what I said. Throw the Turkish ambassador the hell out of Washington. Those were his people and Erdogan's people that were sent out there. That's not America, and it's not allowed in the United States of America. Peaceful demonstrators being beaten up? Chris, that is just flat out wrong. And to say that we have asked for further information, you don't need any further information. Just look at the clip that we just showed.
Senator, good to have you back. Always good to talk with you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.